Welcome to the show that looks at truth, fiction, and reality with a smirk. I'm Aaron Peterson.
I'm Amanda Sink.
And I'm Zach Parkerson.
And welcome to Smirk. Each week, one of our hosts introduces an original story. It's me, which we then use as a springboard for a spirited and lighthearted discussion on whatever the moral or theme of their story is. I am very excited, but before I get to my story, I just want to ask everybody listening, share the show with your friends. Go on the iTunes or the Apples or the Google Podcasts, whatever you listen to, the Spotifys, and leave us a nice review if that's possible, whatever you're listening on. And also, again, tell your friends about Smirk. That does help the show a lot. That's it.
You shameless shill.
That's actually my story. My story is, please, 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 and then you beg and beg and beg.
Desperately.
This is very desperate.
It's pathetic. It's really.
If we sound off, by the way, it is a very late recording this week on Smirk.
Don't start apology. No, we don't do apologies. If it sounds off, it's an intentional off.
Oh yeah, you know what? Sorry, I lied. This is bright and early. The birds are chirping.
I'm 900 years old. I don't have time for this. Let's move this along.
Okay, I am pretty ecstatic about my story this week.
Okay.
I actually think this might be, dare I say,
oh no,
dare you say,
the best one I've written for Smirk.
Oh boy.
Calling it. Babe Ruth pointing to the stands right now.
Ugh. Is this just your draft for an episode of Psych that you wanted to write, or what?
Yeah, and I just kind of changed the name. So if at some random point I go, that's right.
If you hear
That's
talk
what
of a lot of pineapples, you know that he's ripping off his favorite show.
I would love that.
I
You know
like
what?
pineapples.
I want to get into it. I just want to do this. I want to
All right,
get
fine.
into this story. I don't want to waste anyone's time.
You're wasting our time by telling us that you
It's
don't
a
want to
good
waste
point.
our time.
Hey,
You're welcome.
gather around the campfire.
Hey, that's mine, man.
It's time for a story. The noises grew louder as Lexi slowly forced open her eyes. As her gaze wandered the room, her recollections began gaining clarity. Here she lay, alone, atop an old and dirty gathering of blankets and sheets in a desolate, abandoned parking garage downtown. She owned only a backpack, stuffed with random essentials she had found along the way, and the clothes on her back. It was strange to reflect on what led her to such desperate times, and to sleep in a structure such as this. As she awoke, her mind began to flood. Memories of coming home to find her husband, with her own daughter, doing that. To witness his deranged joy firsthand, the numb look of gleeful pleasure smearing his face, while emptiness consumed her daughter's. And to know nothing between them will ever be the same. Not for their family, not for anyone. Circumstances grew exponentially. Quickly, her life shifted gears almost in an instant. Years of schooling and training to showcase her intelligence gave way to an animalistic drive for survival and revenge. Lexi would never forget the moment she drove that axe through her husband's head. Not ever. The kaleidoscope of blood splattered both hers and her daughter's face. Though she knew it had to be done, Lexi never once felt she was capable of such savage brutality before. Damn him for destroying our family. This was the moment that changed her life. Now she is here, alone, still searching the corners of the garage for signs of life before preparing for yet another day of existence. That's all it had become for her at this point. Day by day, her zest for life had been snuffed out of the very fibers of her being. Why even continue, she thought to herself, before answering her own question only a second later. Because I have to fight. Lexi surmised she was still alone and finally rose to a standing position. The noises outside were increasing, and she knew she needed to vacate the premises before she was found. She was essentially living the life of an escaped felon at this point, constantly checking every corner, every shadow. Everyone around her now wanted to swallow the soul of her very person. She was an enemy of the state. Lexi walked over to the edge of the garage, peering onto the street below as she gazed upon the source of those horrendous noises. Loud, bellowing moans engulfed the area. Lexi had grown used to it, yet it never failed to unnerve her. She peered over the opening, staring down at the army of the undead, sauntering along to their next feeding frenzy. Lexi remained careful to avoid detection by the herd, even as she stood hypnotized by their movements. Every horror has its own semblance of beauty, she thought. Lexi composed herself, breathed a heavy sigh, and began her preparation for another day of survival. Perhaps tomorrow's existence will finally prove worth the fight.
Well, that had me turning my head about 20 seconds in. Does that mean everyone has to drink if I'm not the one who brings up sexual abuse?
Whoa.
You're still going to have to take a shot because there was no sexual abuse.
He was a zombie.
That's the twist, Amanda.
Oh, I thought he was like,
But
you said
everybody-
doing that.
Yeah, I never said what that was.
Yeah.
But I think we can all agree Amanda needs a shot.
She filled in the blanks with the way only Amanda can.
Well, I just figured that's what okay. All right. I mean, I got there were zombies.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay.
He killed her daughter
Oh.
as a zombie.
He didn't rape her. That's good to know.
Nope, no rape. Or so we thought. But I just assumed that he was teaching her how to play Fortnite or something.
Well, that's one thing I want to know. Well, first, what do you guys think the moral of that story was?
Double tap.
That's a good one.
Bad.
That is a good one. Yeah.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's worth fighting for.
It's close.
I was going to
life
say
is
what
worth
my
fighting for.
My real one was.
You know what? When you answer, I assume that is your real one. Are you giving me fabricated ones? Fake
No,
ones?
it was just something I thought of while you were reading the story. I was like, double tap. And then the real moral of the story I thought it was going to be was when life gets you down, you have to get back up. But that's not.
But I already told you it wasn't.
Yeah.
So we should.
I was still
probably just
wrong.
Now she's double wrong.
No, you're so wrong. So, well, we already know Amanda's answer. So what did you think was going on, Zach, through the story until the end?
Well, I mean, I assumed that you were trying to angle it, so that's what we would think was a little bit of daddy-daughter time. You know what I'm saying?
Ew, no. Why did you go? What? You sounded so excited about that.
You did kind of giggle.
I'm sorry. Well, you know, I delete my search history regularly. But no, then I thought you were going for a comedy twist, so I really was like, oh, maybe he's he's finally let her play Mortal Kombat or something, and he's excited about it, and the daughter is like, I just don't care, Dad.
You would take it to a video game.
Video game? Really?
That's where I went.
Okay.
I assumed he was showing her, hey, honey, I know Dad's a big Gears of War fan, and I know you've wanted to spend some time together, so I'm going to show you how to play. And then she was just, her eyes were glazed over, and the wife was just worried. She's like, oh no, he's doing this to her now.
The fact that both of you go to disturbing places on opposite ends of the spectrum, yours is like, hey, this is kind of a cute thing. Amanda's like, dark, dark, dark. It's just kind of funny. Kind of funny. All right, so here's what I want to talk about. Zombies. That's what I want to talk about.
The undead.
I want to know, first off, do zombies scare you guys in any way, shape, or form? Man, you love horror. You talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Zombies? Anything?
They don't scare me. They intrigue me. But I've never had an experience where I've gotten frightened by them in a TV show or a movie.
I remember 28 Days Later, those zombies were a little bit unnerving in there just because they were so feral. But I mean, they're so saturated in popular culture today. I don't know if they could possibly be scary ever again.
Is there anything that could make them terrifying to either one of you? That could bring it back? I mean, I would say what'd they do? They had the slow moving ones, then they moved to faster moving ones, which that changed it up a little bit. That got people a little bit more on edge, and then that got old. So what would you say would make zombies scary again?
If they were able to somehow fabricate themselves being undead,
fabricate?
Well, yeah, I don't know, pretend to not be undead. If they pretended to be humans, if they had, because
they could mimic real life.
Well, yeah, if they could pretend they were still alive, put some makeup on or something, in Warm Bodies, but not romantic at all. He fell in love with her, and that was a totally different story. But if they could eat my face at will, and I didn't know they were going to eat my face. If you see a zombie, you're like, oh, they're typically moving slow, or even if they're moving fast, you can see from their skin he wants to eat my brains.
Okay.
So you run, right? Of
Okay.
course. Or you double tap. You do one or the other. Cardio, option
Got it.
number
Zombieland
87.
rules. We
yeah.
know.
But if I don't know to run away and then all of a sudden he's just eating my face, I'm a little terrified.
How exactly would he get that close to where you wouldn't be?
Because I thought he
unnerved?
was a human. Like if I...
That's a hell of a impersonation where he's just walking up to you, looks perfect, and he's just like, I'm not a zombie.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they didn't make them seem
That's
so
my zombie
stupid, because I'm sorry, but they're not human at all. They're literally just a body that's somehow moving and doesn't have any thought process. If it was capable of still
Like
thinking,
they die and immediately come back, and they're pretty much the same person.
right? They're savages. They still want to eat your brains, but they act as though they're regular humans. That would probably freak me out because then you'd
Isn't
never
that-
know.
Like iZombie, like sexy zombies.
Well, she's like a detective zombie, so I feel like that's a little different.
I would never watch that show.
Because zombies solve crimes.
She does.
She does.
I haven't watched that one. One.
Well,
Wow, from the creator of Veronica Mars, and you missed it out, huh?
I watched like the first season, and then I said I'm out, mostly because it's a zombie. And let's all admit, zombies. I think who said it? One of you said it already. Oversaturated, right? Was that you, Zach?
It was,
Oversaturated. They're everywhere. They're everywhere, and I 100% concur with that assessment. They are not scary simply because they are everywhere. Walking Dead has sucked all whatever life was left in it. Now you watch a movie or read a book or a comic, whatever it is that you're getting your zombie fix from, it's hard to get scared from that.
I think that's partly because we were so fixated on vampires for so long and making crazy iterations with Dracula and the like that we finally had to move away from those types of monsters and find a new monster to fixate on. And then it became zombies. And that's one of the downfalls of horror is that the creators,
Cyclical.
They don't seem to grasp onto different concepts. They see one concept is working for society at that time. And then everybody's like, let's jump on this and try to do something with it because we know it's working in society. And then it just jumps to a new thing to fixate on. And
there was something unnerving, I think, with the way Romero approached it, which is where he's looking at it from a societal. He's painting, he's throwing a mirror on society with zombies, showing people in their desperation and what they would do and yada, yada, yada. That stuff to me is still terrifying. What would people do to survive in these worlds? That stuff I find fascinating. You know, kind of like how far would you go to make sure you got to walk away? You know, what would you do to still be walking around with these people that are just dead?
well, that's not really being
is that
scared
really,
of the
is that really
zombies,
living?
though.
Well, I know, but it's the same world. It's being,
Yeah,
that's what scares me in that
You can be scared
world.
of that world.
I'm more
sure.
terrified of that than I am somebody eating at my ankle. I can kick him.
Could be a tasty ankle. I don't know.
You've got cankles. If they're going after them, it's
Wow.
because they're a little meaty.
I felt.
I'm not saying you do have cankles. I'm just saying if they're eating them.
Zach, I don't know if you heard, but I heard you do have cankles.
Yes, that's exactly what she said. Yes.
Well, that's not what I meant. That's why I clarified.
This is why when we say things, we should
clarified.
mean them. Zach, what about you? What would make zombies scary again?
No, well, I was just going to play off a little bit of Amanda pretending they're human beings or whatever. Made me think of Marvel Zombies or DC's legendary Blackest Night event, where the zombie version still retained the personalities of the deceased.
Okay, so how'd that work? How does that work?
They would still have the memories, and they would just kind of twist and distort them, like the Atom's wife like betrayed him and stuff. But then when she came back as a zombie, she would try to play on that because he felt like he let her down, and that's why she betrayed him. So the zombie would play on that and to try to get him into like a weakened emotional state, so it's easier to eat his heart.
Ouch! I like that.
That's a little unnerving.
Yeah.
If the undead retained the memories and they knew how to play it against you, that could be cool.
If they can manipulate,
Yeah, that
Yeah.
high level of intellect. I think that's what we're not seeing in zombie.
like a zombie smoking a pipe in a leather chair. Just
Why are they
kicking
in the
back.
20s now?
Because that looks smart.
Can we have like a zombie noir film? Because that would be pretty legit.
Hey there,
like
sweetheart.
Sin City, but
Let me see your brain.
Ooh,
I think this would be fun.
I would watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be it. It was actually not a bad idea for an indie film.
Right? How do we make this?
Well, you can't afford color, so that's definitely indie. It's $27, and you just you fill the room with smoke. And
Good,
then
I've got a smoke
give
thingy.
somebody a fedora, throw some blood on their lip, and say, "You're a zombie."
I can
Done.
do this. Guys, we're going to make a movie.
I'm going to solve crimes.
You're going to be the one who talks like that, because neither Zach or I can pull that off.
I'm not even going to try, honestly.
I can't move my mouth to the
Of
side
all the
enough.
graveyards in all the world, we meet here.
That's whatever you say, dame, you see?
All right, so
You sound like an old man.
Yeah, sure.
hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Hey, old men can be detectives.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, crotchety detectives. What do you like and dislike about the whole genre? Comics, books, movies, TV shows, whatever. What do you like and dislike?
Well, I think it used to be the coolest freaking genre idea in the world, the post-apocalyptic zombie apocalypse thing. Because it is so fascinating. How do you survive? How far do you go? What do you do day to day? Like, what? It's so fun to imagine yourself in that world of, what would your plan be to survive? And would you go scavenge for food every day? Or, your friend gets bit. Boy, would you pull the trigger? It's a fun genre to kind of test your own morality. But in terms of what's not cool, it's just, it's everywhere, and the tropes have become so ingrained that you can pretty much call a zombie movie's top to bottom at the start.
I agree that it's oversaturated, but I think the problem, and I've already mentioned this, is just that we're not being creative enough with zombies. You have people like you brought up, Zach, iZombie. That's a creative idea where you're having Warm Bodies is another example where you're having zombies who have some sort of level of intellect where they're not just aimlessly roaming around looking for blood and brains. And that takes it to a different level. When you have all of these different, like Walking Dead is just trying to pummel zombies into the ground. Pun intended, I guess. And
there was a pun there.
Pummel them into the ground? Don't you want to bury them?
Because they rose out of the ground and then pummeling them back in.
Oh, all right.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
It's not cool if you have to explain it.
You're
So
definitely-
It never cool.
okay. Well, there's that. Ouch.
Savage.
But I do like the concept of, I like more the concept of you having to face something that you recognize on a physical level, but is completely gone mentally or psychologically. Like that's not the person. You could look at somebody who you loved and cared about, and that person is no longer there. As long as you look at them, they're going to look like the person similarly of somebody you know and care about, but they're never going to be that person. And so there's interesting aspects to undead zombies that just don't have any intellect, but it's just so overused that we need to be able to branch out and do something more with it.
I think it would be more interesting. Santa Clarita Diet is a good one because it is basically taking a woman who is trying not to eat her family. I like that dynamic. I like that she's whatever she is. I don't even know if that one's officially a zombie. I don't think they've ever said specifically, but she's fighting it. It's like an addiction in a way. She's fighting the urge to kill people. She does kill people, but she's fighting the urge to kill people, especially in her own home. She has feelings, she has intellect, she has a life, but she also has this disease that she can't get rid of. There's no cure technically. I love that. That's something creative. It's a new way to do it.
Is it not just a vampire story though, with a different skin?
Yeah, kind of. But zombies can walk around anywhere,
They get the daylight.
There's
pale.
less. Yeah, there's too many rules with vampires that don't apply to Santa Clarita Diet. Like she doesn't have to ask to get invited into somebody's home. I feel like it's very different because there's so many different rules in place necessary.
Yeah, I guess there's like a lot of mythology around vampires. Although I don't know very many stories that still adhere to the asking to enter thing.
I never understood it. What a dumb rule. I can't come in your house. Why? Because you didn't say, oh, okay, so that's a magical rule? I don't understand why you couldn't.
It was pretty cool in that Fright Night remake, and then Colin Farrell just like expose their gas line or whatever outside instead. That was pretty sweet.
He just blows the house up.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I guess you got to come outside then, sucker.
Yeah. What a great movie.
Here's the thing with zombies, okay? Here's my problem with them. Is when they come back from the dead, however they come back, they get out and everything else. suddenly they're golden retrievers. They can smell brains from 16 miles away, but when they were alive, they couldn't even smell fried chicken in the car they were standing next to. I don't understand that aspect. It's just weird that they got a superpower by coming back from the dead. They can smell it. People that way. What the hell, man? You could have a deer right next to me and I can't smell it. So I don't understand how I come back from the dead. I shouldn't have a very good sense of self, but I have the fortitude to go, yep, dinner that way. That I've never understood that. I just think that's a weird. I understand they had to invent that because they have to have the terror of the undead. But to me, I would like to see a zombie movie where they only eat you if you bump into them because they are so dumb. They're just so like they actually seem like real undead. They're dumb. They're stupid. They're just bumbling around, wandering places. And the only reason that they ever get you is because you have to go through a herd of them because they're always hanging out together because they're so lonely.
Well, I mean,
I want a sad zombie too. Just really sitting there in the corner going, I just want to be dead again.
But also, like, I've never understood the functionality of them either because they have this satiation for food and they somehow process that, but none of their organs can be working because their heart is not working and their brain cannot be working. We've obviously figured out that their brain is not connected to anything because they're so damn stupid all the time.
Well, that's not necessarily true. Their brain is connected because that's the only way you kill a zombie, right? Is you puncture the brain.
The headshot.
Okay, well, I guess they just lose all of their intellect. Everything they've ever learned just goes out the window, except for how do I eat? But then how are their organs processing the food?
Basic primal instinct. I don't know if they are. They're just like, I guess it just comes out
like,
the other
do they have to poop? Do zombies have to poop? This is a valid question. Hold on.
Okay.
Do you guys think that zombies have to poop?
Zach, do zombies have to go number 2?
I think you guys are getting way too scientific on the zombies.
I need an answer to what you think happens.
I assume that if they're eating, they must poop, but it's probably real chunky. It's got a bunch of brain matter in there.
It's not processing properly.
He's like, that's the hippocampus right there.
You do not want to go near a zombie when it's taking a dump.
It just comes randomly stumbling out of the porta potty. Hey, do not go in there.
Right.
Why? Hank's still in there. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sure those mumbles mean something to the other zombies, right? So that's probably how they talk.
That's communication.
Yeah.
We should start subtitling them. We should get a subtitle one. Where's yeah, Steve. I'll definitely pick that up later. Let's go eat that guy.
What if we had a professor who was teaching English and semantics for zombies? Or like mathematics for zombies. This is how much food you need to consume. You can smell this far away.
1 Hank plus 2 Sallys equal in my tum-tum.
I hate to see the zombie in remedial math.
I don't even know what remedial math is.
Percentages.
Good for you.
I know statistics. That's not it.
I barely know algebra.
If there was 100 zombies, that's how.
Are you Sling Blade now?
Yeah, it would basically be Sling Blade.
Also, do you think they have the urge to have sex?
Oh, I don't. That's something I don't want to watch. Zombies humping. They are. You know what? That's a good point because they are. They're broken down to their basic human instincts, right? They only want to eat. They only want to survive in that respect. Why wouldn't they want to like? You know, Sheila's over there. She's kind of bending over, picking up the brains, and she looks pretty nice in that skirt that's all falling apart because it's been at the ground for 50 years. You'd think
the part of her ass you can see is looking mighty fine.
Yeah. I mean, she's all skin and bones, but other than that,
but that's what they like.
Yeah, that's what they like.
That's your type.
Oh man, that flesh is just falling off the bone. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
So there, she's dragging a 7-year-old body she just ate. She's willing to share it with you. That's how you know she likes you.
You guys like do Lady and the Tramp, but like she gets one side of the bone and he gets
with a
the
shin bone.
I like you too.
Anyway,
they
I'm
pick
sure
up a glass of blood to like just refresh themselves.
There's got to be a zombie story where they're banging. Yeah, there's got to be.
I would watch that.
Okay.
This is what I dislike about them. I don't see stuff like this. This feels creative and inventive to me. Let's have that.
We want to see them having sex and pooping.
I want to see them do it all for the nookie.
Do it all for the nookie.
Have you
Fred
guys,
Durst shows up.
Have you guys listened to the podcast We're Alive zombie podcast?
That's a great podcast. Not to advertise, but it is a great podcast.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of it.
It has a very unique take on zombies for sure. They're like nesting and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they were pretty smart. They could do tactics. It was cool.
Definitely need more strategy in zombies.
Just something.
Less randomly walking around. And you know what? Okay, this is a big Walking Dead one. No, the entire herd is going to follow you and stay on the main road just because somebody's on a horse in front of them. Shut up. Shut up. I can't stand that.
Also,
it drives me crazy. In any movie or show or whatever. It drives me nuts.
There's zero way that the American government would not try to utilize zombies. Like, they would throw them
Start
over.
dropping them in Korea.
Yes. Nom, nom. And they're like, war, man, this is real cheap. We don't need guns anymore. We have zombies. Or give the zombies guns.
I advise you to play the Resident Evil video game series where they're used as bioorganic weapons. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we definitely would.
This has been done.
Well, I'm talking...
She means in the real world. She means not...
like in the real fictional world, okay?
No,
the real world of zombies.
We would drop them in Russia. We would. We'd just take fill a plane, like Putin would just be walking outside, it's a nice day. Is it raining zombies? What?
No, not again.
Who keeps dropping these things? That's not right.
Oh.
Zishka, get him!
Another question, back to the sex of the zombies.
Would zombies speak Russian?
Oh my God, you and the sex?
No, but could they procreate? Could they make more
baby zombies? No.
If they're having sex and he finishes.
I can't imagine.
There's no biology there. It doesn't.
Hold on, I can't imagine. Give me a couple minutes.
Okay, well, moving on. If you found yourself in this scenario, a zombie wasteland, how would you survive? What's your plan, or would you even? Zach, what do you got here? You seem to have thought about this quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. I used to be that stupid teenager with the zombie survival guide and all that stuff. Shout out to Max Brooks. No, my plan has always been, the outbreak occurs, I'm at the Highlander grocery store, okay?
I don't think that chain ever even exists anymore.
I can't imagine.
You're already annihilated.
I zip over to the Home Depot.
Zipline would be awesome. From the grocery store to your apartment.
And you pick up your provisions, right? You grab a sledgehammer.
Okay.
And you grab a huge length of rope.
Who has a sledgehammer in their apartment?
This is at the Home Depot.
Oh.
Depot. Why do you
Depot.
keep saying Depot?
I don't know, but I like that. It's French.
So you swing by there first. Okay, that's essential. Now you run to your apartment complex. You go to the highest floor you can.
Okay.
All right, and you lock it down. Now you got this huge rope, and that's how you're going to
Zombies don't do cardio. I got it.
That's how you're going to get in and out.
Okay.
Yeah, but you get to the top of the stairs, you take the sledgehammer, you break out the stairs. Now the zombies can't get up the stairs. They can't climb over the walls. You got the rope ladder or rope that you bought at the Home Depot. And that's how you get in and out to do your daily provision runs.
Okay.
That's always been my plan. Break the stairs. And if you got neighbors, you throw them down the stairs.
Because you don't want to take chances of more zombies.
Yeah, definitely what I was thinking.
So
pick like your 2 or 3 best friends, though. Like, they get to stick around. Everybody else.
More mouths to feed, Aaron.
He's not even keeping one. His wife is a goner at this point.
She's first gone. I'm tripping her on the way to the Home Depot.
I'll be honest. I'm in a zombie wasteland. I don't want to have to argue over if I can put that painting up.
Can I put... Okay, but seriously, I need to understand. You're banking your entire survival on the fact that a zombie isn't going to climb a rope.
Well, because when you climb back up, you pull up the rope.
Okay, but what about when you want to get, like, you leave? Okay, so you're heading back to the Home Depot.
Right, so the rope is down.
Right, and they could climb up there.
Really?
While you're gone.
Now zombies can shimmy up a rope?
All it is like basic grabbing and up.
I want to see you climb a rope up a few floors.
If I had a body that was much more built, like some zombies probably do, and they also seem to have some extra strength.
Yeah, they work out. They're always pumping iron.
They're hitting the gym before they go out there.
They're just lifting people over their heads. That's what they lift as weights. They just lift people up and down as they go down the street.
The strategy is built around the traditional shambling zombies. Those guys are not climbing ropes. I guess if they were the 28 days later kind of zombie, there's no way. There's no way.
Or World War Z. There's just no stopping those guys.
I've never seen that film.
Oh, well, it's actually pretty terrifying zombies in that one. How about you, Amanda? How would you survive? He's got a very detailed plan, or would you just give up?
I don't know what I would do. I would probably die. I would try to find I would try to be resourceful. I would start with a list. Okay. First thing, make a list. I need to write down all of the things that I need to survive.
Hang on, attacking zombies. List time.
Is number one on your list bug spray?
No, but it probably should be because they're going to be filled with them. Worms and maggots. Are they the same thing? I don't know.
No, they're different.
Okay, good.
But neither one of them are bugs.
Well, they're bugs to me. Spiders. Everything is just
Still not a bug.
Crawling out
You
of
haven't listed a single bug yet on your bug list.
Okay, anyway. So I'm going to write down all
Why
the
is this
necessities.
raid doing anything? Why? Why?
Ladies, stop spraying my eyeball.
All right, so you do a list.
I'm doing a list of all the necessities, so when I go to the store, I know what I need to get because I'm going to have to get supplies. I'm going to need a super cool knife and find one of those things that wrap around your leg so I can just have it handy all the time. I'm going to need to get a gun and also a manual of how to use a gun. Water, food.
You're so dead.
Duct tape, maybe. I don't know what you're going to need it for, but in case...
but whoever you're with is definitely going to have it. Just borrow it from them.
It ain't gonna be me. You're not staying up in my apartment.
It's going to sound like this when you request it.
So after I make my list, then I have to go get my supplies. Hopefully I make it to the store where I can get a weapon because I certainly don't have one on me. And then I'm just going to try to find maybe I should hide in a grave because it's not like they're going to want to go back to a grave.
You're so dead.
I don't know, man. I'm just trying to think. I would find a way. I would find somewhere to hide
Zach,
out.
Climb to his room so he can kick you off the stairs. You got a better chance. But I'm going to hide in a grave.
They're going to go up
with
the
all my
stairs.
rations.
Look, they're going to go up the stairs. They're not going to try to go back down into the ground where they were just at.
You go back to your home when you're ready to go to bed, right? You're done. You've had a nice, a long day of snacking, and you're just like, I need to go rest, kick my feet up. Oh, look, there's some chick with a list, duct tape, and snacks in my coffin.
I have weapons, I have knives, and I have guns. But anyway, so I'm going to get all of the supplies that I need, and I'm just going to try to find my way into a safe little haven. Oh, I also need toilet paper. For sure.
Yeah.
Last thing I want is a bacteria
stockpile.
infection.
That's one more reason why your wife can't come. Because you wouldn't have any toilet paper left. It would all be gone in a week. I gotta make it last. Sorry about the stairs.
Yeah, you got the air dry in the apocalypse. That's how it's gonna have to happen.
I think I would go to a hospital. I would find a hospital because
there's so many bodies there.
Okay, I didn't think about that. That's a good point. But
you're dead when you walk in.
I mean, all right, you can. There's a lot of security in a hospital. You can lock certain areas off. There's a lot of exits.
How are you going to get the access codes?
School. We go to but there's a lot of equipment. If you need anything, if there's any injuries.
School's always my backup. Yeah, I'm with you.
Schools also have a nurse's station.
There you go. Okay, school. I'll go with the school. And I'll just hole up there, secure the area. Although I do like the hospital because usually they have emergency lighting. And I can just, we can go on a zombie run, knock them out, clear it out.
They also have a cafeteria, so you at least already have food there. Schools definitely don't have any food.
I wouldn't call it food.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it food. So, all right, well, I'm back at the hospital. Screw it. I'm going for a hospital. I'm going to clear it out of zombies, and I'm going to have, certain different floors. So I have somewhere to go. Make sure there's lots of escape routes. You could have a few people that help you keep watch, that sort of thing. You could have the lights on without the zombies knowing the lights are on because you only keep them on inside the deeper parts of the hospital.
Ooh, okay.
Security cameras.
Security cameras, as long as we got power.
Well, you said you have emergency power at a hospital, no? They have their own backup generators, I'm sure.
Yeah, we would just have to do some fuel runs or something like that.
Yeah, you sound old Barry out there to get the fuel that you need.
And it's a nice way to lure in people that have supplies because they're going to be injured, they're going to be hurt. They come in, because hey, I'm trying to survive. Mm-hmm. So they come in, we take their supplies, it's payment, and then we just let them go.
No.
Now they're attracting zombies to you, though.
No.
I'm killing them.
I'm killing them, throwing them off the roof. They're gone.
Right,
Yeah.
but the zombies
Better
are
safe than
probably
sorry.
chasing them. If they got injured, that was probably recent. I'm not opening that door for you.
Ooh. Well, I'm taking their provisions, then I'm kicking them back out then. Either way, I'm getting some stuff.
I'd rather leave their body out there, and then the zombie will just eat them, and they won't be concerned about what's inside the door because they would have never seen the door open.
Let's have the more important debate. Who's going to be savage about this here? You're stuck in this post-apocalyptic wasteland where it's all about your survival. How welcoming are you going to be to new people?
I'm rolling solo, man. I told you, I'm throwing my neighbors off of the apartment building. I'm crashing alone.
Completely?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to need a lot of books. I'm also probably going to go crazy. But, I got time. I can't risk it with other people in this scenario.
Isn't it like, don't you need a medic, soldier?
Not when you have
What else
Google.
are there? You don't have Google in the apocalyptic. They don't have Google?
They have backup generators in the hospital.
That's not
Google.
how internet works. You still have to have internet.
something tells me-
isn't
Okay,
gonna-
fine. But if you're in a hospital, you have all of the resources you need for yourself because they still keep that stuff. I'm sure they
Yeah.
have handbooks of how to do stuff,
They do.
right?
Yeah.
So I have a job aid on how to bandage a wound. So I don't need no medic.
All right.
I can't take a chance on you. Yeah.
I'm also probably, as much as I say, I'm not going to let anybody in, I would see them and then they would start crying and I'd be like, oh my God, I feel so bad. And then I would let them in. And then that's how I die.
Mm.
It would depend on where they rank on a 1 to 10 scale. You know what I'm saying?
Like physically?
Yeah.
You are far too ugly to get in this house.
Yeah, I'm not letting it. Oh my God, what are you like? You're like a 6.5. There's no way you're getting up this rope.
Zach's like, I'm going to need you to do a runway walk and twirl at the end, please. No, I thought you had a little bit more junk in the trunk.
Shimmy,
but-
shimmy,
Yeah.
coca, no.
I'm beginning to realize I might be the villain in this zombie story.
You sound kind of fun to watch, though, like for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, when they make the movie, they're gonna love me.
I'd kill people.
Woody
All right, so-
Harrelson can play you. He's savage enough.
What do you know?
He's about 35 years my senior.
So?
Looks just like you. Dazzling recreation of you.
What's your plan? You're in the hospital. You're just gonna crash.
No, I'm in the hospital, and I am willing to take people out if I need to. I am not afraid to execute.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to survive. All that little kids. Maybe I would have a hard time with a little kid, but I would ask for ID. If you're like 16 or older, you're fair game. You're done.
No, if I see a kid out there, I'm just gonna duck my head down and out of sight, out of mind.
Just keep walking.
It's not my problem.
Good luck, kid.
Look, you'll do a champ.
All right, last question. Would you want to continue fighting if it was every single day? Like Lexi does here. She's going to keep fighting, hoping that it's going to get better. Would you guys want to keep doing that?
Well, as much as I would want to say that I would give up and just not even worry about it, I probably would be the person who decides that I'm going to keep fighting this because I'm going to find a way to get out of it and it's going to be better, or there's a better place where they're not overruling everything, or there's somebody else out there who's in the same position as me. So I would keep going.
Yeah, I want to live just to stick it to the zombies.
Or
or to the God who's unleashed this hell upon us, just to say, you ain't got me, not yet.
I'd want to get to an island, just so I could say I have my own island.
Isn't that how Dawn of the Dead remake ended?
Yeah, well, that ended badly, though, for those people. I want to find an island where there aren't any zombies and they can't get there. Or they keep constantly trying to come through the water to get there, and I just sit there and laugh all day. They drown, and they they're dead. Could they come all the way across and just walk through the under the ocean? I don't know if anyone's ever answered that question.
How many times can they die before they just stop coming back to life? But also, the problem is their brain, and if you drown, that affects your brain. Your brain you can actually get water in your brain, and that will kill you. You can get water in your lungs. Well, do they breathe, though? Oh, my God. I
don't think
so many
water
questions.
gets in your brain.
Water can get into your brain.
Okay, all right.
So dead bodies float, right? So when they just kind of float,
Yeah, just paddle over. I'm a-coming.
yeah, I feel like they would just drift in the ocean. Like they might make landfall every now and again, but
You just hear zombies. Row, 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 row.
Solomon Grundy.
My biggest question about zombies, if you die of a headshot wound, before the zombie
you don't
thing
come
happened,
back.
You don't come back, right?
No, that's come on, that's a classic zombie story.
Okay.
Your best friend's about to turn. He asks you to give him one bullet.
So I was very wrong. Oxygen obviously cuts off to the brain.
Yeah, I'm aware of this. I just didn't want to make you feel stupid.
Right. Water
But I'm
can
glad
get in
you're
your
owning to
lungs. Water can get into your lungs,
And it's
which
in a
stops you
different
from
place.
being able to breathe, but it
Mhm.
doesn't actually get into your brain.
They're not using their lungs, so.
Yeah, she's acknowledging that
I'm acknowledging that I was wrong.
that she's thinking very much in the mindset of a zombie. Not at all. Not at all. I would want to keep fighting, too.
What would be your reason for fighting? Because I gave mine, Zach gave his.
I'm not a quitter. Period. That's really all it is. It would be spite. No, I ain't quitting.
Mine would be, because I assume if a zombie apocalypse happened, that's going to be finally the moment where I'm like, oh, there probably is a god, and he sucks. So my argument to myself would be like, every day I live is a day that I'm sticking it to him.
You are a spiteful SOB.
All right. What do you guys think this was truth or fiction?
This is a tough one.
Well, it could be kind of an allegorical story, maybe. And it's based on truth of a woman who, divorced her husband and left her kid behind, and now she's doing her own thing. So it could be what I'm saying. It could be fiction.
Yeah! I like it.
It's fiction.
But it's somebody's triction.
But it
Zach.
could have been an allegory. Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like
Allegories
Brilliant.
suck.
What's the name of your story?
March of the Dead.
Oh, because the dead come marching.
Upcoming Zack Snyder film as well.
Is it?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
I just always make it another zombie movie.
Well, you know what, Zach? You're welcome to take that one and just throw a story by credit on. That'd be great.
I always thought you were a legendary director.
We're not mad about Superman or Martha. As our show goes, we will occasionally pick listener stories to read and discuss on Smirk. That's how I should have had my zombie story end. She got out of it by yelling Martha.
Okay. All right. So now both their parents' names were Martha. Okay. And he clearly had a bunch of. Anyway.
Yeah. If you'd like the chance to have yours read, email it to mystory@smirkpodcast.com. Join the conversation by joining our Facebook group. Follow us on Twitter at Smirk Podcast. Be sure to share the show's hashtag Smirk. Don't miss an episode. Be sure to subscribe to Smirk in your podcast app of choice and check out our website at smirkpodcast.com.
What is wrong with you?
I'm trying to perfect a zombie impression.
But what was with the smirk?
I thought you were a transformer.
All right, and as you write your own life story, always remember to tell it with a smirk.
You gotta stop, man. You gotta stop.
Erg.
It's a problem. Did you guys like that story? Zombies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no chance of truth to it, but
Well, you never know.
I should have said true and stuck to that.
Seen how many people are like, you're wrong.
No,
So you're
just be
crazy?
like, start getting letters. Aaron, I believe, is lying on the podcast. No, man, that happened in Indiana, Gary, Indiana. You ever been there? Everybody's a zombie. Everybody.
It's kind of nuts, yeah. They're trying to scoop them up and ship them over to Russia, but it's tough to get them all on the plane.
God, I so want to see a movie where they're just dropping zombies on Putin.